Yes, good morning to all of you. Can you hear my voice? Anybody respond? Bharati, Mary, Shyam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So before starting, once again, I want to announce few things. Uh, Last time I had asked regarding the Gmail IDs. As I said earlier that we will be continuing our online classes on G Suite platform. So all of you, you must check your email IDs whether they are functioning or not, and send me your email IDs that are working. Okay, that is first thing. Second thing is that all of you install Gmeet in your uh, that is mobiles. Okay, and most probably from Monday onwards, I'll tell you that instructions that how to go about in G Suite. Okay. And regarding Monday onwards, I think yesterday our government has, state government has given relaxation. Yeah, 1 second. Yes. So our state government has given relaxation for the lockdown from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So maybe our further instructions, whether it will be online or offline, that I'll clarify with our principal sir and I'll further inform. So until further instructions, you take it as it will be online only. Okay. So let us continue today's class. I'll share my slide. And one more thing is that sit in a place where you are having good signal strength. Your phone signal strength is good, so that there is no interruption for the audio video. Okay, just check it once and sit in a proper place. And don't hold your mobiles. You just keep your mobiles at a particular stand or a particular place. Yes, let us continue. Before starting, yes. Yes, can you see the slide? మీకు స్లైడ్ కనిపిస్తా ఉందమ్మా? Anybody respond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Yes. So, in our last class, I think we were discussing about the C3 cycle, that is Calvin cycle. So, just we'll have whole just a recap of the whole scenario of photosynthesis. That photosynthesis, it is occurring in two stages, that is the light reaction phase and dark reaction phase. So, in this picture, you can see the first that is the light reaction phase. So this is chloroplast, and in this you can see here this is the granum, that is the thylakoid region in a bundle where the light energy is trapped here, and this light energy is further passed on to the light harvesting complexes, that is the photosynthetic pigments, which acts as the antenna. The light energy is passed on to the reaction centers of photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. So in this region, that is the thylakoid grana region, where photolysis of water is taking place, where water is converted into, that is breaking down of water in the presence of light is taking place, and where oxygen is released, and the end product of photosynthesis, photosystem 1 and 2 are the ATPs. Okay, so the ATPs and the NADPH that are produced here, they are sent outside the thylakoid to the stroma region. Okay, this is the stroma region. So in the stroma region, these ATPs and NADPH are released, where the second reaction, second part of the photosynthesis, that is the dark reaction phase, occurs, and the uh, so the dark reaction phase occurs. Yes. So here, the in the stroma region, the dark reaction phase occurs, utilizing the ATPs and NADPH that were released, and the CO2 fixation occurs. Okay? So carbon dioxide fixation is accepted by RUDP, and that is how it goes about in the C3 cycle. It is also known as Calvin cycle. Okay? As Melvin Calvin had discovered this pathway, so ultimately carbon dioxide fixation occurs and the sugars are produced. That is the one G3P is left out of the chloroplast to the cytoplasm for the production of sugar. So that is how the C3 cycle it goes about. So here in this picture you can see the main picture where the it is the Calvin cycle, where the C3 cycle, where the three main phases are. The first one is the carbon fixation phase, or it is also known as carboxylation phase. So what happens here? The carbon dioxide it enters into the cycle by the primary carbon dioxide acceptor, that is the RUBP, okay? Ribulose 1,5 biphosphate. So next, the first product that is being formed here is the 3-phosphoglycerate or 3-phosphoglyceric acid, you can say PGA. So this is the end product, sorry, not the end product, the first product that is being produced. So as the 3-PGA is a 3-carbon compound, that is why we name this cycle as uh, C3 cycle also. So it is all called as C3 or Calvin cycle. So next what happens? So this is the first phase, okay? That is the uh, carbon dioxide fixation or carboxylation phase. Now what happens further? This 3-phosphoglycerate phosphorylation reaction takes place, and it is converted into 1,3-biphosphoglyceric acid or bisphosphoglycerate, you can say. So this is due to phosphorylation where the ATPs are utilized. Okay, so whatever energy that are released from the light reaction, here ATPs are utilized by 3-PGA, and it is converted into 1,3-BPGA. Now what happens? From here onwards, the second phase of the C3 cycle begins. That is the reduction phase. Now how reduction occurs is by addition of NADPH here. So 1,3-BPGA plus NADPH, it gives rise to 3-PGA or PGAL, phosphoglyceraldehyde, or you can say glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, G3P. Okay, 6 molecules of G3P are formed here by the reduction of 1,3-DPGA, where NADPH is converted into NADP and the hydrogen is utilized by 1,3-PGA, where it gets converted into glyceraldehyde. Now, this is the second phase, that is the reduction phase, where further you can see that out of the uh, 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, one molecule is, this is one molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, is sent outside the chloroplast into the cytoplasm. Okay? This is for the formation of glucose, for the sugar formation. Okay. Now, out of the 6, one is left out. Now remaining are 5. So from here onwards, the further reaction takes place. Okay. And this, what is that? Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, 5 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are converted back into 1,5 ribulose 1,5 biphosphate, that is RUB, utilizing ATPs. Again, ATPs are being utilized here, where this is the third phase of the photosynthesis, that is the regeneration of RUBP, that is the primary carbon dioxide acceptor. So, in between stages, as we have discussed earlier, so this is how the C3 cycle occurs in 3 phases. The first phase is carboxylation phase, the second phase is reduction phase, and third one is the regeneration of RUBP. So, just if you look back in here, we can say that this is the first phase where carbon dioxide is accepted by RUBP, and the first carboxylation phase occurs. 3-carbon compound is formed here. From here, 1,3-PPGA is formed, and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is formed. This is the second reduction phase, where NADPH is utilized by 1,3-PPGA. 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is produced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where the sixth one is here, it is left out into the cytoplasm for the production of sugar, and the remaining 5 here, all the 5 molecules of G3P are, they conduct so many intermediate reactions, and ultimately the third phase occurs, where again there is the regeneration phase, where RUBP is produced back again. So this is how it goes, C3 cycle. So in exam, so here you just remember this figure, that is this cycle, so that you have the clear-cut idea what all is going on in C3 cycle. Whereas this is just a synopsis, you can say. Okay, overall C3 cycle in 3 phases. Briefly, you can explain this. So this is all about C3 cycle. Now we shall continue with the next cycle in the dark reaction phase, where carbon dioxide fixation occurs. That is the C4 cycle. So, what is this C4 cycle? It is an alternate pathway of C3 cycle. Okay? This is an alternate pathway for the C3 cycle to fix carbon dioxide. In this cycle, the first compound formed, stable compound, is what? Is a 4-carbon compound, that is formed is the oxaloacetic acid. Whereas in case of C3 cycle, if you see C3 cycle, where this C3 cycle, 3-carbon compound was produced, that is the 3-phosphoglyceric acid, which is a 3-carbon compound. That is why it is known as C3 cycle. And this case, where the first stable compound that is formed, that is the oxaloacetic acid, it is a 4-carbon compound. Okay? That is why it is named as C4 cycle. Okay? Hence, it is called C4 cycle. Now, the pathway is also called as Hatch and Slack pathway, as they in the year 1966, as they worked on this cycle pathway, and it is also named after them, that is Hatch and Slack pathway. So similar to the C3 cycle, where it is also known as Calvin cycle. So this pathway is commonly seen in sort of plants like the grasses, like the sugarcane, maize, sorghum, paranthus, and so on. We can say all grass plants, grassy plants or herbs, most probably which are come under this C4 category, plants category. they run this pathway, okay, carbon fixation path. These are the examples. Now, before going into the cycle, you must have a little bit idea about the C4 plants, uh, about their leaf structure and their not structure, leaf anatomy. Okay, C4 plant. So how it differs from the normal plant. So here you see the C4 plants show you different type of leaf anatomy. It is not similar to the normal dicot or monocot plants where anatomy is different from them. In what aspect will see? The chloroplasts are actually not demo, it is dimorphic. Okay, so it is demographic in nature, not demographic. It is dimorphic in nature. This word is, you can take it as dimorphic. Okay, a dual morphology exhibits. What is that thing is in the leaves of these plants, the vascular bundles are surrounded by bundle sheath of larger parenchymatous cells. Now, here if you see in this picture, right side, so this is the upper epidermis, this is the lower epidermis, this is the stomata, and in between this two epidermis, this is the mesophyll tissue. Okay? Mesophyll tissue. Comprising of what? It is comprising of parenchymatous cells. Now, if you look at these two tissues, that is the xylem tissue and the phloem tissue. So, as you know, this xylem and phloem tissue are what? These are vascular tissue. So, they are in bundles, you can say. They are in groups. So, this thing is known as what? Is vascular bundle. Okay, and this vascular bundle is surrounded by what? Is surrounded by a single layered thick layer outside it, which is known as what? Bundle cells. So here it is. So this bundle sheet cells are nothing but large parenchymatous cells, single layered cell, which is surrounding the vascular bundle. Now coming down to the, yeah, this is another picture where you can see this is the upper epidermis, lower epidermis, stomata, and here this region. So here this whole thing is mesophyll tissue. Okay. This mesophyll tissue we have the xylem cells, the phloem cells in this which are in bundle. Together they are known as vascular bundle. And remaining all the mesophyll cells, that is parenchymatous cells, these are smaller with regard to this one layer, single layered cell which is surrounding this vascular bundle. So these are known as bundle sheath cells with special type of chloroplast. Now here you can see that in mesophyll cells also you find this all dot 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 structures. These are nothing but chloroplasts, normal chloroplasts. Whereas if you see here, the parenchymatous cells are larger in case of bundle sheath cells, where it is having a special type of chloroplast. These bead-like structures, if you see these thick, larger bead-like structures, black structures are nothing but chloroplasts, which are found in the bundle sheath cells. Now, how they are different is these bundle sheath cells, these bundle sheath cells have chloroplasts. These chloroplasts of bundle sheath cells are what? They are larger. They lack grana and they contain starch grain. So, if you see here, these chloroplasts which are present here. These are larger. Okay, they don't have the grana, that is thylakoids. These are absent here, and they have grains, starch grains. Okay, they have that food that is being produced, photosynthesis that are stored in the form of starch here. Okay, you can say these are the storage areas. So that is why they are larger and so the chloroplasts in the mesophyll cells are smaller and always contain grana. Whereas when you compare to the normal chloroplast here, so the normal chloroplast which are present here, these chloroplasts are normal in size. It is smaller in size when compared to these chloroplasts which are present in the bundle sheet cells. And they have thylakoids, okay, grana thylakoids, which conduct photosynthesis. So this is the difference between these two type of chloroplasts. So this peculiar anatomy of leaves of C4 plants is known as what? It is known as Grans anatomy. Okay? So the bundle sheath cells are bigger and look like ring. So you can see here these bundle sheath cells are a little bit larger in size and they are in ring sort of thing wherein centrally we'll be finding the vascular tissue bundle and surrounding it is a thick layer of bundle sheath cells having this special chloroplast. This anatomy is particularly known as what? Grans anatomy. Okay, Grans anatomy. Now coming down to the C4 pathway. So that was about C4 anatomy, how it is. And now coming down to C4 cycle, it involves two carboxylation reactions. One taking place chloroplast of the mesophyll cells, the another one is the chloroplast of the bundle sheath cells. So there are four steps of a C4 cycle where first one is the carboxylation, second is the breaking down of that product, first product, and third one is splitting, and fourth one is phosphorylation. What are those steps? We'll be seeing here, but before that, you must have idea that here in C4 cycle it involves two carboxylation or carbon fixation stages where one is occurring in normal mesophyll chloroplast and another one is occurring in the that is a special bigger one chloroplast which is present in the bundle sheath cells. How it goes is now this is the normal for not only just now we discussed this part how it is and where bundle sheet cells are there and now if you see the differences between a C3 plant, first thing is that two cell types are there. That is the mesophyll and bundle sheet cells, spatial separation acid and sugar synthesis, where obviously there are two types of chloroplasts taking part in a C4 cycle, where mesophyll cell chloroplasts are there, bundle sheet cell chloroplasts are there. But whereas in C3 plant, only the normal chloroplasts are present. You won't find a dimorphic chloroplast. So here trans anatomy is seen here, but in C3 plants. And the second thing is two fixation enzymes, that is RUBP and PEP carboxylase are involved in this thing, C4 cycle. But there in C3 cycle, only RUBP carboxylase, Rubisco enzyme is there. It is also known as Rubisco. Okay? Here, RUBP carboxylase and PEP carboxylase both are involved in two carboxylation stages. So carbon dioxide is reduced twice here, whereas in C3 cycle, only one is the first step only it is. Okay. Now coming down to here, when you enlarge this thing, it looks like this that this is the mesophyll cell and this one is the bundle sheath. Okay, and here is the vascular tissue. So this bundle sheath cell is surrounding this vascular tissue, and outside this bundle sheath cell is the mesophyll. Now, how the reaction takes place is here you can see carbon dioxide, which enters here into the chloroplast of the mesophyll cell, where the first acceptor is PEP, phosphoenol pyruvic acid, and it forms what? oxaloacetic acid, which is a 4-carbon compound. So oxaloacetic acid is formed here, the first stable product. That is why it is known as C4 cycle, because it is the first stable 4-carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid. Now this reaction is catalyzed by which enzyme? PEP carboxylase. Here. Further, this oxaloacetic acid is converted into malic acid or malate, and this malate is transferred from mesophyll cell chloroplast to the bundle sheath cell chloroplast. Now, what happens here? This malate, it breaks down into two products. One is pyruvic acid, and another one, or 3 PGA, and another one is carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide, which is released from malic acid, it enters the C3 cycle. Now here, the RUBP carboxylase enzyme is utilized. Okay, so by first primary acceptor, that is RUBP, accepts the CO2, and the whole cycle occurs in 3 phases. That is carboxylation, reduction, and regeneration. And that is how for sugar again it is sent outside the chloroplast. So here you can say that here C3 cycle occurs in the bundle sheath cells, and this is the CO2 that is released. Now what about this thing? Okay, pyruvic acid, pyruvate. So here this pyruvate or pyruvic acid, it again goes back into the mesophyll cell chloroplast, where phosphorylation occurs, where utilizing the ATPs. Okay, and this PEP, phosphoenol pyruvic acid, is again converted back. So pyruvic acid, where phosphorylation takes place, utilizing ATP, getting converted into ADP, and we get back the phosphoenol pyruvic acid, PEP. Okay? And again, this thing continues. Again, that will be accepting CO2. Again, oxaloacetic acid will be formed. Again, malate is formed. Malate again entering bundle sheath cells, breaking down into pyruvate, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide involves the C3 cycle, and C3 cycle leads to the formation of sugar. And pyruvic acid, it enters back into the mesophyll cell, and this cell goes on. So this is the basic pathway how the carbon dioxide fixation occurs in C3, that is C4. Here, that is the carboxylation phase, where phosphoenol pyruvate PEP is that is carbon dioxide fuses with PEP. First primary carbon dioxide acceptor, you can see presence of water, PEP carboxylase enzyme, and first 4-carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid, is formed along with CPO. Now this oxaloacetic acid, it oxaloacetic acid 4-carbon compound in the presence of transaminase and malate dehydrogenase, it gets converted into aspartate and malate. Now malate, we saw malate that it enters the bundle sheath cells by decarboxylation, it breaks down into carbon dioxide and pyruvate. Now this pyruvate again, it combines, goes back to mesophyll cell, combines with the ATP uh, by the help of enzyme pyruvate phosphokinase, and phosphoenol pyruvic acid is again regenerated mesophyll cell, and adenosine phosphate and pyrophosphate. Okay, so this is all how it goes. Here another picture is there of this Hatch-like pathway, where you can see here this is the mesophyll cell chloroplast, and this is the bundle sheath cell chloroplast. So the cycle starts here in the mesophyll, where carbon dioxide, it accepted by phosphoenol pyruvic acid, the presence of what? PEP carboxylase. So this is the enzyme where carboxylation occurs, and it gets converted into oxaloacetic acid. So oxaloacetic acid is a 4-carbon compound. That's the reason it is known as C4 cycle. Now, this oxaloacetic acid breaks down into two components. One is the malate, another one is the aspartate. Okay? So, aspartate is also another product. So, we are discussing here what happens to the malate. So, malate, this is a dehydrogenation reaction where NADPH is converted into NAD along with oxaloacetic acid. Now, this malic acid it enters into the bundle sheath chloroplast where this malate or malic acid, which is a four carbon compound, it gets converted into breaks down into carbon dioxide and pyruvic acid. So this carbon dioxide it enters the Calvin cycle, that is the C3 cycle. So here the primary acceptor RUBP accepts CO2 and the cycle goes on. And one of the uh, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is released for the formation of carbohydrate. So that is about CO2. Now what about this pyruvic acid? This pyruvic acid it again goes back into the mesophyll cell chloroplast from the bundle sheath cell chloroplast. So this pyruvic acid it undergoes phosphorylation by combination with P in the presence of phosphate pyruvic dikinase with the enzyme, the phosphoenol pyruvic acid is regenerated. So this is the whole cycle in both parts. Now, if you look at the few differences between C3 plants and a C4. Now, first one is that CO2 fixation takes place in mesophyll cells only, so where only one type of cell is involved for CO2 fixation. But here you can see it takes place in mesophyll cell as well as bundle sheath cell. It is two times carbon dioxide fixation occurs. Now here in C3 cycle, CO2 acceptor is RUPP3, that is ribulose 1,5-biphosphate. But here in phosphoenol PEP, pyruvic acid is there in the mesophyll cell and RUBP is there in the bundle sheath. Okay? Because two times the carbon dioxide is fused. Next, third difference is that first product is a C3 product, that is PG, phosphoglyceric acid, that is found in C3 plants, whereas C4 plants, first product is a 4 carbon compound, oxaloacetic acid, that is found in the mesophyll region. Next, Gran's anatomy is not present here. So, Gran's anatomy, that is nothing but the dimorphic chloroplast. Okay, so it is seen in C4 plants where one type of chloroplast, that is smaller chloroplasts, are present in the uh, mesophyll. It is granular, you can say, but the larger chloroplasts, which are agranular, you can find them in C4 plants in the bundle sheath cells. Now, another difference is that granum is present in the mesophyll cells. Yes, so it is a granular chloroplast that is present. But here you won't find any granum. So granum is present. It is present in normal chloroplast, which is there in mesophyll cells, but it is absent in bundle sheath cells. Okay, that is the difference. And sixth one is it is a normal chloroplast, whereas it is a dimorphic chloroplast, as I said earlier. Another difference is that the optimum temperature for this E3 plants to perform this carboxylation is around between 20 to 25 degrees centigrade, whereas the optimum temperature for C4 plants is it is around 30 to 45 degrees centigrade. Another thing is that fixation of carbon dioxide takes place at about 50 ppm atmospheric pressure, whereas the carbon dioxide fixation takes place even in the lesser atmospheric pressure as low as 10 ppm. Next, a less efficient due to high photorespiration. Now, this photorespiration is a process which we'll be discussing later. But if you see that during high photorespiration, this C3 cycle plants it shows decreased carbon dioxide fixation. whereas C4 plants, even it is at less photorespiration occurs, but it is still more efficient. So, what is this photorespiration? I'll tell you later. Just you remember that when photorespiration increases, this photorespiration increases means the C3 cycle efficiency decreases. Whereas here, when even if photorespiration decreases, the C4 efficiency increases. Next, RUBP carboxylase is the enzyme used for fixation to this. But here, two types of enzymes are involved in carbon carboxylation. One is the PEP carboxylase, mesophyll, and RUBP carboxylase, the bundle sheet. Next one here, 18 ATPs are used to synthesize one glucose. So one glucose molecule, if it has to get produced, then overall there are 18 ATPs that are utilized in this cycle. Now here, if you see, it consumes 30 ATP, more than 60 cycles are produced, sorry, it is consumed for production of one molecule of glucose. And it is efficient at low carbon dioxide levels also. Even if this cycle where carbon dioxide, if it is low, still it is very efficient. Whereas it is efficient at even higher carbon dioxide levels. People plants. And what are the examples here for C3 plants are the paddy, wheat, potato, and so on. Whereas the examples for a C4 plant are like plants like sugarcane, maize, sorghum, amaranthus. So these are the few differences you can say between a C3 plant and a C4 plant, which you must know. Here in this picture, summary of we have to still discuss CAM plant, CAM cycle, but here if you see the C3 plant, a C4 plant, and a CAM plant, rough idea you will be having how it goes about. That is the dark reaction. That is not, now you can say the carbon dioxide fixation or carboxylation, how it goes. Now, if you look at the C3 plants, the CO2 it enters the chloroplast and the C3 cycle occurs and glucose is being produced. So, all this occurs where in the mesophyll cell chloroplast. But here in C4 plants, if you see two times carboxylation occurs. One is occurring in the mesophyll cell chloroplast, and second time this carbon dioxide is getting fixed in the that is C3 cycle that is occurring in the bundle sheet cell. So C4 plants both it has okay, it has normal cycle in mesophyll cell and the C3 cycle also is involved in C4 plants in bundle sheet cell. So that is why C4 plants are 1 second. Somebody is waiting here. So here you can see that uh, C3 plants here only mesophyll cell is involved, whereas in here C4 plants mesophyll cell and bundle sheath both are involved as well as C3 cycle is also involved. That is why C4 plants are much more efficient in CO2 fixation than when compared to C3 plants. And this is CAM plants where the carbon dioxide fixation occurs. Here also C3 cycle is there, but in this total cycle there are two phases separated by the duration. So one is the that is occurring during the night time, and another cycle C3 cycle that is occurring during the daytime. So in C4 that is CAM plants, how it goes about we'll discuss that. So this is a brief summary of all the three types where it is taking place. Now we'll see CAM plants. So now what is this CAM? The full form of CAM is nothing but crassulacean acid metabolism. So what is this crassulacean acid metabolism? So if you look at the CAM, in short it is known as CAM, crustacean acid metabolism occurs in hundreds of species, 20 families of angiosperms. So in angiosperms, we can see in 20 families this type of cycle where different species that come under these 20 families, they show this CAM metabolism, okay, for carbon fixation. So there are some of these families are like the Liliaceae, Fasciolaceae, especially this Crassulaceae, Euphorbiaceae, and so on. So here it has been reported that CAM is genetically controlled. It is sometimes affected by changes in the surrounding environment. So normally this CAM cycle, it goes from one generation to another generation genetically, where the plants will be following this cycle only for carbon dioxide fixation, that is CAM cycle. But sometimes these changes occur because of some environmental changes uh, that can affect for this metabolism to occur in plants. So in this, what is CAM actually? If you see, so it is a carbon fixation pathway present in some plants, also known as CAM photosynthesis. So what are these? So these plants fix carbon dioxide during the night, storing it in storing it in 4 carbon acid, that is malic acid, in the form of malate, which is a 4 carbon compound. So here during the night time, the carbon dioxide fixation is taken. Okay, not during daytime, during the night time, and it is stored in the form of 4 carbon compound, that is the malate or malic acid, you can say. And the carbon dioxide is released during the day, where it is concentrated around the enzyme rubisco and increasing the efficacy of photosynthesis. So what happens here is during the daytime, so nighttime carbon dioxide is taken in, and during daytime carbon dioxide is released in these plants, okay, utilizing the enzyme rubisco. Now how it occurs, we'll see further. So these are the few examples like the pineapple, the cactus, the succulent plants, where this CAM cycle occurs. So CAM can be considered as an adaptation to arid conditions. So arid conditions means the desertifying conditions where very less amount of water is available, groundwater is available to the plants, and temperatures are very high. So these conditions are humidity is very low. So these conditions are known as arid conditions. So whatever plants which are growing in these arid conditions, those area, they exhibit this CAM cycle. Okay. Now here if you see CAM plants often display other xerophytic characters. Okay. What are those xerophytic characters? They are such as thick, reduced leaves, have a low surface area to volume ratio. They have thick cuticle which are present on the leaf, stem, everywhere. Waxy layer, that is cuticle, it is said, and the stomatas are sunken into the face. So it is not exposed stomata. So the stomatas are sunken in the epidermal region. For why they are sunken means to perform less transpiration process. As it is showing xerophytic characters, and that is water availability is less. So that is the reason the stomatas are sunk, okay, for controlling the transpiration. Second thing is that some shed their leaves during the day season, others store water in the vacuole. So often these leaves, when the conditions are very worst, that is, temperature is high and very almost negligible water is available. So what these plants do is they shed off their leaves. Okay. So once the leaves are not there means the transpiration won't occur. So as the stomatas are presenting the leaves, that is the reason. If leaves are shed means stomatas are not present and transpiration is completely not occurring. And whatever water are there, that is stored in the vacuoles or wherever it is present. Okay. So the overall view of the CAM. Okay, before going into this CAM cycle, I would like to stop here and I will again continue after a 10 minutes break. Okay, as we are left with just what is that? So we are left with just 1 minute. So I all of you just switch on your video stick so that I can take a screenshot and we will again come back at about after a 10 minutes break. Okay, at 11 o'clock. So all of you just మీ videos on చేయండి so that I can take a screenshot for this session. Bharati, Rajshekhar, Mary, Sudarshan and Tarak. మీ videos on చేయండి. Yes, I hope you all of you are listening. Rajshekhar, Mary, Sudarshan and Tarak, please switch on your videos once. Mary, Rajshekhar, Sudarshan and Tarak. మీ videos on చేయండి ఒకసారి. Only Sham is there. What about others? Okay, we'll meet after 10 minutes break. So don't go anywhere. 10 minutes తర్వాత మళ్ళీ join కాండి all of you. ఓకేనా? Okay, now I'm ending this session. We'll meet after 10 minutes break. Okay? Anybody wants to ask anything? ఏమైనా అడగాలనుకున్నారా ఈ సెషన్ గురించి? వాట్ ఎవర్ సుదర్శన్ వీడియో ఆఫ్ చేసుకోండి. సో ఇప్పటివరకు ఏం డిస్కస్ చేసినామో ఒకసారి ఎవరైనా ఏమైనా అడగాలనుకున్నారా with regard to C3, C4? Okay. Anyway, I'll share the PPT and the video link also afterwards. No problem. Okay, I'll end here. We'll meet after a 10 minutes break.